Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2020. Finally going to get to my regular show here. I'll be quick. College basketball, NBA, NHL, my latest mock bracket, quick preview of Masked Singer tonight, and Lego Masters, and my best bet of the night. All right, college basketball. We'll go over all the scores from yesterday and what's final so far today, and we'll look ahead to tonight's leftover slate. Pitt over Wake Forest, 81-72. Manhattan over Fairfield, 61-43. This is last night's games and yesterday day games. Carolina over Virginia Tech, 78-56. Northern Kentucky over UIC, 71-62. Robert Morris over St. Francis, Pennsylvania, 77-67. Northeastern over Hofstra over Northeastern, 70-61. Iona over Canisius, 70-60. Howard over SC State, 70-63. Texas Southern over Grambling, 75-62. Number 2, Gonzaga over St. Mary's, 84-66. Southern over Alabama State, 67-53. Jackson State over Alcorn State, 69-52. North Dakota State over North Dakota, 89-53. And Niagara over Marist, 56-54. Finals so far today. Sacramento State over Weber State, 62-54. Idaho or Southern Utah over Idaho, 75-69 in the Big Sky first round. NC State over Pitt, 73-58 in the second round of the ACC tournament. Oregon State over Utah, 71-69 in the Pac-12 first round. Fordham upsets George Washington, 72-52 in the A-10 first round. Going on right quarter, or first period, first half, in the Pac-12 first round. All right, rest of the games I'm going to pick against the spread / straight up and give out my number. 6 o'clock ESPN plus A&M Corpus Christi, Northwestern State, Southland first round. Northwestern State is a 1-point favorite. I have it 1.5, so I'm picking Northwestern State. 6 o'clock, Big Ten Arc, Northwestern, Minnesota. Minnesota is an 8-point favorite. I have it Minnesota by 8. At gunpoint, I pick Minnesota, the cover. Delaware State, NC Central, MEAC quarterfinal. NC Central, 9.5-point favorite. I have it 15, so I'm going to lay it with NC Central. Manhattan, Siena, 7 o'clock, ESPN 3. Siena is favored by 6.5. I'm going to get 10.5. I am going to take Manhattan in the points. Or no, I'm going to lay it with Siena. My bad. I was looking at the wrong thing for a second there. Sorry. CUSA first round, FAU, Old Dominion. Old Dominion's a 2.5-point favorite. I have FAU by 1/2, so I'm going to take FAU to win straight up. 7 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Big East first round, St. John's, Georgetown. St. John's is a 4-point favorite. I make it 3.5, so I'm going to take Georgetown getting 4. SEC tournament, Georgia, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is laying 3. I'd make it 1. So I'm going to take Georgia plus 3. Iowa State quarterfinal, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. Georgia State's laying 5. I'm going to take Georgia Southern plus the 5 because I have it 3.5. BC, Notre Dame, 7 o'clock, ESPN 2. Notre Dame is 10.5. I make it 6. I'm going to take BC in the points. Rice, FIU. FIU's 2-point favorites. I make it 3.5. That's a 7:30 game. Conference USA. I'm going to lay it with FIU. CBS Sports Network Patriot League Final. BU Colgate. Colgate's a 7-point favorite. I'd make Colgate minus 10.5-point favorites. I make it 17.5. So I'm going to lay the 10.5 with NCAT. Big Ten Network 8:30. Nebraska, Indiana. In the Big Ten first round, Indiana's 15. I make to take Vandy plus the 9.5, but Arkansas will win. ESPNU, 9 o'clock, Kansas State, TCU. TCU's laying 2. And now that Calanthony's back, and they seem to be back in form. So, I'm going to take the 2.5 here, maybe, and UNC wins by 1, and Syracuse covers, but we'll see. Pac-12 Network, Pac-12 first round, Cal, Stanford. Stanford is laying 9.5. I make it 5.5, so I'm going to take Cal plus the points. DePaul, Xavier, Big East first round. Xavier's giving 6.5. I'd make Xavier 7, so I'd lay it with Xavier. Iona, St. Peter's, MAC quarterfinal. St. Peter's is giving 2. I'd make it 7.5, so I'm going to lay the 2 at St. Peter's. UTSA, UAB, CUSA first round. UAB's giving 2.5. I'd make it 4.5, so I'm going to lay the 2.5 at UAB. UTEP, Marshall at 10 o'clock. Marshall's giving 2.5. I have it 1.5, so I'm going to take UTEP and the 2.5. And then Washington State, Colorado, 11:30 Pac-12 Network. Colorado is laying 10. I have it 7, so I'm going to take the 10 with Washington State. All right, NBA. I'm going to look back on last night's slate and look ahead to what should be an interesting slate tonight. Wizards over the Knicks, 122-115. Celtics over the Pacers, 114-111. Bulls over the Cavs, 108-103. Rockets over the Timberwolves, 117-111. Magic over the Grizzlies, 120-115. Spurs over the Mavericks, 119-109. Blazers over the Suns, 121-105. Clippers over the Warriors, 131-107, and then the Nets over the Lakers, 104-102. Tonight's slate is 6 games deep. 7 o'clock, you have the Pistons at the Sixers. Philly is a 12-point favorite. I would make Philly an 11.5-point favorite on a neutral, so 14.5-point favorite over the Pistons. 7:30, the Hornets at the Heat. Miami's giving 10.5 to Charlotte. I would make it 15. The Knicks at the Hawks. The Hawks are giving 5. Mavericks. Denver is giving 2.5 on the road at Dallas. And there are many injuries in these projected lines. But nobody's significant really out for this game. The only significant players out tonight are Ben Simmons, obviously. So maybe I should have looked at Detroit more. Maybe the Sixers should be giving 10.5. And then Rose is out for Detroit, but that cancels it out. So that makes it 12. So I'm right on with the market with the 12. And then Luke Kennard's out. That's a point, so 13. So I guess I was on the right side with Philly because all the players that I've listed out right now are involved in that game. And then 10:30 ESPN, Pelicans-Kings. I like this game. New Orleans is a 1.5-point favorite in this game. I personally would make it Sacramento by 1. Zion Williamson. But I really, really like Sacramento here to really show people what they're made of. So I'm going to go with 2 home underdogs tonight in the Mavericks and the Kings for the 2 games on ESPN. NHL now. Look back on last night's big slate and look ahead to what should be a smaller slate tonight. Rangers over the Stars 4-2. Maple Leafs over the Lightning 2-1. Preds over the Habs 4-2. Pens over the Devils 5-2. Bruins over the Flyers 2-0. Canes over the Red Wings 5-2. Canucks over the Islanders 5-4. In a shootout, Ducks over the Senators 5-2. Tonight, 8 o'clock NBCSN, the Sharks and the Blackhawks. I have no idea who will be on the call for this game. I don't know if it'll be Doc Emrick because this isn't a meaningful game for any of these teams. Both of these teams are out of it. Take the Blackhawks at home when Jay Baumeister unfortunately collapsed. So the league obviously postponed the rest of that game. So I think if I do this on Friday, then there will be a lot of changes. I just had to make some changes with the auto bid winners. So that's really it. Number 1 overall seed, Midwest, the Kansas Jayhawks. Number 2 overall seed, number 1 seed in the South, the Baylor Bears. The number 3 overall seed, number 1 the West, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And the number 4 overall seed, the number 1 seed in the East, the Dayton Flyers. All right, the 2 seeds. Florida State in the East, Louisville in the Midwest, Creighton in the South, San Diego State in the West. No, I do not think that the injury to one of Creighton's best players will affect their seeding all that much unless they lose to St. John's or Georgetown tomorrow. 3 seeds, Duke in the West, Villanova in the East, Seton Hall in the Midwest, and Maryland in the South. So, Maryland, I think, has a chance to move up. The Seton Hall, Villanova, potential semifinal winner can move up to the 2 line if something happens with Creighton early on, or if Louisville or Florida State get picked off early in the Big East tournament or the ACC tournament by one of those bad teams like Carolina or Syracuse or NC State or something like that. 4 seeds, East, Kentucky. The West is Auburn, Midwest, Michigan State, and in the South, LSU. I think Kentucky can move up, potentially, if things go wrong with some of my projected 3 seeds, but I do think the loss against Evansville will cost them a seed line when it's all said and done. 5 seeds, Penn State in the South, Virginia in the East, Oregon in the Midwest, Wisconsin in the West. Penn State, I think, can move up with a good Big Ten tournament. I think Virginia's locked there unless they lose early in the ACC tournament. Oregon just seems destined for a 5 seed, and so does Wisconsin. 6 seeds in the Midwest, Iowa. In the East, Ohio State. In the South, Houston. And in the West, Illinois. I think Illinois, the good Big Ten tournament, can move up. I think if Iowa avoids an upset, then they'll be fine. And same for Ohio State. And if Houston goes on a run, the AAC, they could potentially move up as well. 7 seeds. Michigan in the West, West Virginia in the South, Arizona in the East, Colorado in the Midwest. I think if West Virginia goes on, could move down with a bad tournament, especially Colorado or Arizona. Because I think Michigan and West Virginia have enough resume wins that I cannot see them being lower than a 7 seed. Obviously, Michigan with all those wins against the competition out in wherever, the Bahamas, that they played them in. And then West Virginia obviously knocked off Baylor recently, and they beat Ohio State in non-con. All right, 8 seeds. Butler in the East, Florida in the South, Providence in the West, and St. Mary's in the Midwest. I think Providence can move up if they upset Creighton, but then again, they're not going to get credit for that because one of Creighton's best players is out. Butler, the good tournament run, could potentially move up as well. The Gators, I don't think will drop due to the loss of Kerry Blackshear Jr. in the conference tournament if they do lose to somebody like Mississippi State. So I think they're safe in the 8 spot. And in St. Mary's, I moved up because of its result over BYU. And Utah State moves up a line because they won the Mountain West tournament. Marquette drops because I don't see them doing all that great in the Big East tournament. Same for Oklahoma in the Big 12 tournament, and then BYU drops in result of the St. Mary's game yesterday or 2 days ago. 10 seeds, Rutgers Midwest, Arizona State, and I think the other teams are fine. I think Rutgers can move up with a good Big 10 tournament. Same can be said for Arizona State and Xavier, and obviously Wichita State. 11 seeds, East Tennessee State, Midwest, UCLA in the East, USC in the West, and the South playing game, Texas Tech and Stanford. 12 seeds, Indiana, Tulsa playing game in the East, Liberty in the South, Belmont in the West, Louisiana Tech in the Midwest. So I make the change in the CUSA because I have Louisiana Tech projected to win that tournament. I think Tulsa and Indiana need to have one conference tournament to solidify themselves. 13 seeds, Akron in the East, Northern Kentucky in the South, New Mexico State in the Midwest, Stephen F. Austin in the West. 14 seeds, Bradley in the South, Yale in the West, Vermont in the East, Hofstra in the Midwest. Obviously, Yale gets the auto bid courtesy of the Ivy League canceling their tournament due to the coronavirus. 15 seeds, Eastern Washington in the West, Winthrop in the South, Colgate in the East, Little Rock in the West. And the 16 seeds, North Dakota State in the West, UC Irvine in the South, Siena Robert Morris playing game in the East, and NC Central Prairie View A&M playing game in the Midwest. Now we'll talk Masked Singer for a couple minutes, and obviously Lego Masters. But first we'll do the Masked Singer. Tonight we'll meet a new cast of characters. There'll be more girls in this round than guys. It looks like Swan may be a girl, Night Angel may be a girl, Bear looks like a girl because the costume in terms of the what the shadow is on the graphic, it looks like it's wearing a dress, so that may be a girl. And maybe Rhino, Astronaut, or T-Rex is surprisingly a female too, but you never know. There have been more men on the show than women. And so far in the Super 9, you got White Tiger, Turtle, and Kangaroo from Group A. And then in Group B, Banana, Frog, and Kitty. So those 6 are part of the Super 9, and obviously 3 more from Group C will make it as well. Obviously, last week we saw Taco go home, and it was the most surprising unveiling that I could remember in the history of the show. And the show hasn't been all that long, and that was obviously Tom Bergeron of Dancing with the Stars and the former host of America's Funniest Home Videos. So I'll talk more about this on tomorrow's show and who I think that the other that's unmasked tonight. And now quickly I want to talk Lego Masters. Obviously, new challenge tonight where the episode is about super bridges and the need for speed. So I wonder if they're going to have to build bridges and make cars so they can go fast on their tracks. I wonder if that's what it's going to be like. We'll see. So the contestants that are still on are Tyler and Amy, Sam and Jessica, Richard and Flynn, Mark and Boone, Jermaine and Mel, and Aaron and Christian. Obviously, after everybody had to do the Mega City block. No best bet for today and for the rest of the week. But best bets will return to the show on Monday. So, obviously, best bets have been okay this year so far. Been red hot at some weeks, and other weeks have been flat out dumpster fires. Last night, I went 1-1 with the Lakers losing outright to the Nets, and then I won easily with Hofstra laying the 2 against Northeastern. And then on Monday, I had a push and then a win. So, the week so far, 1-1-1. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow at some point, recapping NBA, NHL, college, all the college basketball games and whatnot tomorrow as well. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.